Nintendo's official stance on Mario and Peach's relationship feels like it changes every week, to the point it has now somehow turned into a will they won't they kind of deal. The same thing cannot be said for Luigi and Daisy. This may sound kinda harsh, but since neither of them are the leading male or female protagonist of the series, it's like Nintendo cares less to establish a canon official answer, one that just so happens to shift constantly. A potential relationship of Luigi and Daisy is simply not broadcast as much. It has never been the core focus of a game or even a plot element in a game. It has all been relegated to hints and nods in spin-off material. So I say we try to finally get to the bottom of this. We all know there is something between Luigi and Daisy, but how real is it? Did Jeopardy overstep when they included this question in 2015? Or is this the canon relationship Mario and Peach just refuse to become? As I'm gonna assume you know, when Daisy was first introduced in Super Mario Land, Luigi was nowhere to be found. While I wouldn't go as far as to say Mario is her love interest in this game, he is the only one around to save her when Tatanga attacks, and in the end is rewarded with presumably a kiss, judging by the little heart floating away from their embrace. However, by the next time we see Daisy again, Peach was also present, meaning Mario shifted his attention elsewhere and Daisy was stuck, or preferred, his brother Luigi. I'm talking about NES Open Tournament Golf, which was released 2 years after Super Mario Land and is the first game where Luigi and Daisy appear simultaneously. They immediately hit it off, from what we can tell, as Daisy is Luigi's caddy, and whereas Mario and Peach keep their partnership a bit more professional, Daisy feels no restraint in putting her hands on Luigi's shoulders in both official artwork and the title screen. It isn't much, but hey, all relationships have to start somewhere. While this game may simply be a footnote today, it was a pretty big deal at the time and even received a manga adaptation in the Japanese magazine Kodansha. This manga would be the first time Luigi is shown to be taller than Mario, and also the first time that he would have a differently styled mustache from his brother, showing that even if this manga is not produced by Nintendo or anything, there are plenty of reasons to take it seriously. Which brings us to this panel, which depicts Daisy kissing Luigi to the absolute shock of Mario and Peach. The context is that she's impressed by how good Luigi is at golf, and because he protected her from a hurricane, probably the more likely reason. But this is the first time Luigi and Daisy are romantically linked to one another. From this moment onward, the blooming relationship of Luigi and Daisy would continue to be referenced, hinted towards and acknowledged for decades on end. Although obviously never in a mainline game, since Daisy did not appear in one until Mario Wonder, which doesn't contain any nods towards their relationship status. So don't expect a huge, massive bombshell or anything, that doesn't exist. But instead, we have a whole bunch of little hints from all over the Mario series legacy that when put together, well, everyone can draw their own conclusions. We're just gonna continue chronologically, which means we end up with probably the least canonical thing in the entire Mario franchise, but an indicator of how Luigi and Daisy are viewed at the very least. 2 years after NES Open Tournament Golf, the Super Mario Bros. Movie was released to, let's be nice and say, middling reception. The less said about this freak show the better, but in the context of this video, I feel like it has to be acknowledged, due to the fact that in this movie, Luigi and Daisy are straight up a thing. Their actors, Samantha Mathis and John Leguizamo, actually dated during the making of the film as well, which is a fun detail, but unlike their characters, they ended it the same year. Daisy's role in this film is frankly bizarre. It feels like it should have been Peach's, who actually doesn't appear in the movie at all, with Mario's girlfriend instead being the super iconic Daniela. And Daisy is instead a descendant of dinosaurs here, just to show once again how serious we need to take this film. So let's continue with a game in a series that is essentially the opposite of this movie and knows very well how to respect its source material. Super Smash Bros. Melee for GameCube features a collectible Daisy trophy, which may have an additional eye hidden under her hair, but more importantly mentions Daisy as Luigi's answer to Mario's Peach, which may put them in the same relational purgatory would it be written today, but back then Mario and Peach were very clearly love interests. It is however implied in Mario Party 4's official strategy guide that they weren't yet a couple. According to this, Luigi has a crush on Daisy, which would of course mean they aren't together, although there is definitely interest from what appears to be both sides. And when that's the case, things can change fast. Cue Mario Party 5, which has a special mechanic where each combination of characters have a unique team name when they are paired up. And Luigi and Daisy, they make for steady sweeties. Seems like Luigi acted on his crush and now Luigi and Daisy are an item. This team name would return for Mario Party 6 a year later, and when Mario Power Tennis came to GameCube not long after, there would be more confirmation Luigi and Daisy are together. In Daisy's trophy ceremony, she is handed her award by Luigi, who she calls Sweetie, an interesting choice of words, seeing as it is the same term as Mario Party used. Oh yeah, and Daisy is on rollerblades for the occasion, don't ask me why. But it seems like around this time, the official word on Luigi and Daisy is that they are sweeties, which is of course an age-appropriate term for a couple in this instance. Their chemistry would still be very good and mutual when Mario Superstar Baseball released in 2005, and as we go into the Wii era, the duo show no signs of slowing down. In fact, it is probably Mario Kart Wii that has done the most for the image and recognizability of Luigi and Daisy's relationship, courtesy of course of Daisy Circuit. Quite well known is the enormous golden statue on this track of Daisy and Luigi dancing, not just as adults, but also as babies. While we don't know exactly what this course is and how it should be regarded, I don't think making gold statues of you and your love interest dancing is something you do or should do when you're not steady sweeties. This is definitely a level above everything we have seen so far, I would argue, seeing as this is a game developed by Nintendo in-house, a flagship Mario game, even if it is a spin-off, and whereas you can still make the argument that Daisy, I don't know, just calls everyone sweetie, explaining these statues as just friends is basically impossible. I mean, Mario and Peach have barely had imagery this obvious and blatant. While definitely not even remotely as high profile, another good source of their connection is up next, being Fortune Street, a crossover Mario Party-esque board game with the Dragon Quest franchise. This game has unique dialogue depending on who you decide to play as, and one example of such dialogue is when playing as Daisy and aiming to trade shops with Luigi, which is a thing in this game is not important. "You're the only one here I can truly trust, Luigi," Daisy says. Quite a serious claim. Look, I can understand that Daisy maybe has trouble trusting Bowser or the definitely not evil Dragon Lord, but Peach and Mario are also playable in this game of course. Saying that Luigi is the only one she can trust definitely shows, once again, these two have something real and serious. Another crossover game shows this as well. Mario and Sonic at the 2014 Sochi Olympic Winter Games features figure skating as a playable sport, both in a singles variant as well as a paired one. Despite figure skating potentially being a bit of an intimate sport, the game makes sure that most pairs keep their hands above the table, if you get what I mean. There's a bit of hand holding, but that's about it. There are however 4 exceptions. Mario and Peach, Sonic and Amy, Luigi and Daisy, and Tails and Blaze for some reason have special finishing animations that are slightly more intimate than what regular pairings get. Had Tails and Blaze, which are not even remotely a romantic thing FYI, not been here, this would have held more weight, but it still makes that one line from Melee of Daisy being Luigi's Peach ring true once again. But as the Wii started to be phased out and the 3DS and Wii U became Nintendo's main platforms, Luigi and Daisy's relationship started to become a bit less prevalent. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing to outright deconfirm it, as Mario and Peach have had on numerous occasions, with official sources calling them friends for example, but the heydays of golden statues and lovey-dovey team names are mostly behind us. Smash Bros would still come through though, as Smash for Wii U's Daisy trophy harkens back to Mario Party 4's strategy guide and mentions Luigi's smitten with her. Are we back to crushes now? Although I guess you can also use this phrasing for someone in a relationship, so it is a deconfirm. But just to show you how few nods there have been since this game, I want to point out that the fact that Luigi and Daisy are seen walking together in the opening of Mario Party Island Tour is legit among the most action this couple has had in recent times. I purposefully left things like this out earlier in the video, but in this era this is literally all we have. Nintendo was definitely getting more shy, or should I say aware, of what to portray here. Going into the Switch though, we do have one more game worthy of mention, or 2 rather, but it ties into one. In Mario Tennis Ace's story mode, Daisy shows very serious concern for Luigi when he falls under the influence of the evil tennis racket Lucien. She offers to join Mario out of a willingness to save her friend or partner, and then doubles down by asking Mario to please bring Luigi back safely. Once again, Smash Bros apparently picked up on this Luigi and Daisy relationship here and referenced it in Ultimate, where Luigi's Tennis Ace Spirit has a spirit battle that features both him and Daisy, as if to say, we know what this game is trying to say, and here's a reference to it, wink wink. At least we know Masahiro Sakurai is a big supporter of this pairing, huh? But it seems like he may not have found too many supporters at the Nintendo headquarters. Although, I am a little conflicted on it all. On one hand, there have been so many hints, so many little moments, that it feels like Nintendo should just get it over with and make Luigi and Daisy a canon pairing. Do it in a movie, add her to the next Luigi's Mansion, I don't care. We all know these two are an item, make it official. On the other hand, I get that pairings and relationships is something Nintendo doesn't really want the Mario series to be about or to feature. And when you keep that in mind, you could make the argument Nintendo has said all that needs to be said. What Luigi and Daisy have repeatedly been shown to have is what I would argue the most canonical relationship in the main cast. There is no will they won't they here, there is no maybes, there's only a yes this game shows it or no this game doesn't show it. But there has never been a game or a bio or whatever that deconfirms this pairing. And in terms of Mario canon, that is as close to official as you're gonna get, I would say. But hey, the gray area is intentionally left so you can disagree. So what do you think? Are Luigi and Daisy an item? And if so, do you think Nintendo will make it undeniable canon? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on all my future Mario content coming up. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.